about, and then I'll go down the line. I'll go back to Aita. You want to kick it off, Christopher Johnson? Yes? Are you frozen? You look like you're frozen. Aita, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
I was gonna ask
you for a while. A little while,
okay.
I didn't get you.
Okay. I look like Chris also got kicked off. What I was doing was I was asking for the presenters to just give a little synopsis of their topic areas. So I wanted you to give you the opportunity to do that.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Thank God I got part of what you were saying, Karen. And
okay.
I think no matter how different our topics are, they are related, because we are talking about this new world, the digital world, and how it affects our classrooms. And I go with you that if we are not very careful or concerned, we will definitely get obsolete. So I'm presenting on reflective thinking in our classroom, that is action research slash participatory action research. This is to give us room to consider and know that the things we do in class are very important. We should give it a second thought. We should not again come from a teacher's perspective, but we should work with the learners to bridge the generational gap. Because we, like in Cameroon, we are talking the CBA, and we are talking about bringing the outside world into the classroom. But which world are we bringing in? Their world is the digital world, as wasn't. And you find this dichotomy where you are in class and all what the learners do or live is either strange or vexing or whatever. And at the end of the day, because of that disparity, we end up saying they are not like us. This is not how we learn. They don't need to learn the way we learn. They need to learn the way their world functions. And unless we stop and talk with them and dialogue with them and see what the world they are living in, a higher percentage is that we step up. Because if we don't step up, the world will move ahead and leave us behind. So action research, participatory action research is what I'll be advocating for in my paper. And I am already getting the benefits of it, because what my children are doing in the stock market game, in even what they will be putting up in their open day, it's not what used to happen yesterday. And we've got to move with the times so as to even make it more interesting and relaxing for us. Because when there is no harmony between teacher and learners, be sure burnout is the next thing that will come in, frustration, depression, and we start looking elsewhere. We might not even wait to be kicked out of the system. We will kick ourselves out of the system by looking for other venues. We are now sometimes in the market selling things or doing other things other than the thing we were trained for. I think this is what I want to address. Hoping I make maximum use of my 3 and 5 minutes.
Yeah, you did. Thank you. And you did, madam. Thank you. Yes, very important. Reflective thinking, something that I don't think we definitely do enough of, just in general, where at the end of the day, you think back about, how did that class go? This one was successful, this one was not. Why not? And then continue to improve. That's not just for class, that's for our lives. Okay, this is if we do it and we advocate for that as teachers, and our students become more reflective, then they will reflect on themselves. They'll know that process. They'll reflect on their actions. The purpose of education is for us to learn, and learning takes place sometimes by making mistakes. So in
Very
order to
true.
not make that mistake again, what am I reflecting upon so that I do something differently the next time?
That's it.
That is reflective thinking. If we keep doing the same thing over and over again, then something is wrong. And
Yeah.
it is something that as teachers, we need to guide our students in doing first by practicing it ourselves. Great topic.
Right.
I'm definitely going to be into one of your workshops.
Thank you.
Thank
It will be a
you.
pleasure.
Okay. Eric, would you like to share a little bit on what you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but if you can give us your 3 to 5 minutes synopsis of your presentation again.
Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you. My presentation, as I earlier mentioned, is entitled Conscious Professional Development in Technology Enhanced Language Instruction. It is divided into 4 parts. The first consists of aspects of the English language curriculum in Cameroon and methods of teaching. Here, I want to draw teachers' awareness on what we are supposed to teach the learners as language teachers. I will want to also draw a distinction between traditional teaching approaches or methods and modern teaching methods, which is basically based. There they will have to give me, it's going to be an interactive discussion where the teachers themselves will give me a a table of list A, listing traditional methods, list B, giving me the modern technological methods. The second part involves digitalized teaching in Cameroon before 2019. I want to give teachers an opportunity to go back memory lane and see what stride Cameroon had made towards digitalization in the English language classroom. And here I would mention that from 2021, the head of state of Cameroon launched multimedia resource centers in Cameroon, especially beginning at Lycée General Leclerc. And it continued right up to 2017, when 15, 16, 17, when he started sharing computers, laptops to students in higher education. And from then we moved into the outbreak of the COVID-19, which took many unawares, and new technology became part and parcel of pedagogy in Cameroon. I would highlight that in the second part. The third part would be based on modern technology itself and language teaching, the use of WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, email, etc., to teach English language in our schools, and the challenges which a member of this panel mentioned later, such as remote areas with no electricity, lack of phones by some very unfortunate poor ones. And the third part will be, how can English language teachers empower themselves through professional association and technology? Here I will highlight the role of CAMELTA, as well as what they can benefit as research. And I intend to also mention that the issue of lack of textbooks in classrooms can now be solved by the availability of material online. We can download reading and listening passages. We can even create them ourselves. Students can write their own stories and put them up on WhatsApp or Facebook, and then this can become resource material for the teacher. And last but not the least, teachers can also embark on personal research for those who intend to enhance their professional development and academic development as well. Some are master students, some are PhD students. They can go back online and get material. That is for their personal growth and economic growth as well. So I'm going to be playing around these 4 different parts of my presentation to draw awareness and raise consciousness. Thank you so much.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful. Wow. I'm hoping that the way in which I designed the schedule, I can sit in on everybody else's presentation, because that's absolutely, I mean, you hit on, it sounds so rich. especially you mentioned one of the areas that you're going to be getting into, which is use of WhatsApp and what have you, when that teachers have had to adapt to. Mispa, your wife, I was in one of her workshops yesterday, and she actually had us put together a group and how you actually can use WhatsApp to facilitate learning. So yes, let's look at some, you're going to be bringing us through time, looking through the old methodologies and the current methodologies, which I think is really great. Thank you for that, Eric. I'm looking forward to that. I think as Emma, who is going to be presenting on project-based learning, she's probably having some trouble staying online. I just admitted her in, but she looks like she was able they got kicked off again. That tied into, Eric, to a part of what you were talking about, where yes, there are parts of Cameroon where people don't have access to technology. So how do they learn? How can we still teach and provide them with the skills that they need? Project-based learning is one of those methods in which it can be done, where you're using technology in a different way. Emma will talk a little bit about that when we hopefully she can get on. In the meantime, Robert, would you share what you will be presenting on during the workshop, please? Are you, let me see, there you go. Are you able to hear me, Robert?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good, I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
Can
that's
you share with
wonderful.
us? This is
Yeah,
the
good evening.
technology guy. Thank you, Rob.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be among this group of wonderful expert teachers of English language in Cameroon and all over the world. So my presentation is going to be on how I use technology with my learners in the classroom. I'm going especially to dwell on how I use technology for the various aspects of the English language skills. Okay, if I have listening, what do I use? If I want to evaluate my learners, what do I use? If I want to work on writing, which tool or which platform can I use to make learning collaborative and make my learners write? Yeah, so that's basically what I'm going to do how to make learning collaborative using technology. So because many people do think that group work is only when people are together physically, but like I realized that you could not be physically, but you're still doing together, but you're still doing group work. That's what I'm going to do, and I really would like to share what I have been doing with my learners in my classroom. So you could actually see what my learners are doing in the classes with me, whether it's listening or it's writing, because people always think it is far-fetched. So I want them to see that it's done also in Cameroon, and use of the resources we have at our level. It may not be as the other person in the other class, but like we always adapt. And when we adapt material with what we have in our environment, we are able to have learners either on writing, vocabulary, on vocabulary, writing, grammar, speaking, even evaluating, and it's good because like when people evaluate the learners, they write on pieces of paper, it becomes so much at times to carry, go back, whereas You could do that online by just sending a link, and then they click there, they do the evaluation, and then you have everything. And instead of wasting all your time marking scripts, lots of scripts every day, you have the computer do the marking for you, and then you have the statistics and everything. And I mean, everything is facilitated. That's just what I would like to be sharing with the learners, that with the participants that they, okay, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. As we're talking about AI and technology, we can use technology to make our jobs easier. That's what Robert's going to be doing, showing us how to say, okay, so we have access to technology. We don't have to hand mark things. There is technology out there that can make your job as a teacher easier. So we want to start using it as
Great.
well, so that our time isn't consumed by some of the things that aren't relevant anymore, or that can be handled through technology. So that will be valuable information. Thank you so much for you to share, and for us to start to use things that we may not be aware of, that we can start to implement. Groups, you talked about not necessarily being physically together. So for example, we're putting this conference together, and we're not all physically in the same space, nor have we been. We've been doing a lot of this planning using and through the use of technology. So we didn't necessarily have to be in the same space in which to do it. We were able to use technology to be able to get this done. So this is a perfect example of what you're talking about. The togetherness you're talking about would mean that I could break you up into small groups, which I've done in the past, and then in your small groups on this platform, you'd be able to have some dialogue together in that small group, and that would stimulate if we had a physical classroom. So learning and having access to these resources is definitely going to help us to do our jobs more efficiently and effectively. And therefore we go back to the importance of the professional development and the importance of organizations like COMELTA in doing so. I think if everyone who will be presenting has presented, I see Mispa. Mispa is on the line, and Mispa is the person with whom I sat in her workshop yesterday, where she had the WhatsApp group activity. And I wonder if you're able to, Mispa, to just share with us what you did in that activity. I know I'm putting you on the spot, you're not necessarily presenting, but if you'd like to jump in and say that, then I'll have you conclude, and then we will wrap up our this meeting.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Sorry, I have blackout where I am, so I'm unable to show my face. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share what I did yesterday. So my presentation was on using WhatsApp to teach the speaking skill, that is speech. So looking from all what the presenters have said, with the coming of technology and the teaching of English language, how we English language teachers make use of these use of the tools of technology like WhatsApp to teach English language. So I came up with using WhatsApp to teach speech, because I discovered that most at times we teachers focus more on the making the writers to write out their speech, but we don't actually sit to listen to them present the speech in class. It's a two-way thing, because one, the time given for the lesson is short. Then on the part of the learners, some of them are shy, some of them are not able to talk when in front of their mate, or they don't have that courage to talk. So I think that confidence, I think that with the use of WhatsApp back at home in your comfort zone, maybe alone, you are able to present your speech. So what I do is I ask them to either do the writing in class, or you go home, you do the writing of the speech, you take your time with the instructions given with what you follow to present your speech. You take your time, you do your rehearsal, then you present your speech. It could either be audio or video. So after presenting, you can do it offline, then you come online and send it to the group. How do we follow up? We follow up, the learners will download the speech and listen to the speech. Then there are some guidelines that they will be able to give to give feedback about the speech. You, the teacher, to do the same. Then in class, we meet again, we discuss about the speech and give feedback, and we continue from there, picking up to do other things about the speech. So that was essential of what I said I did yesterday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And that was perfectly done. And actually she's speaking it out now, but yesterday what we did was we actually went through, we're in small groups and we actually went through this activity. That's the type of teaching that we want to start to bring to the forefront, where people are engaged, which was another topic that was talked about. The importance of speech when we're talking about artificial intelligence emerging. There is a space for them, but we as humans separate ourselves from artificial intelligence through our ability to speak and communicate our emotions and communicate our thoughts. Enabling students, teaching students how to do this is a part of speech, and not just doing it in their native language, but in another tongue. So speech is important, an important part of language development. And so what MISPA was able to do is demonstrate how technology can make you anonymous and maybe even bolder than you would if you were in the presence of a group. So yes, I can record myself first, listen to myself, make the corrections, videotape myself, what have you. And students, they're doing this now anyway on their social media pages or what have you. So them being able to use this type of technology that will help to support their language development is very appropriate. And so yes, we're talking about technology and language development, and wanting to use the technology to our benefit. And so in order to do so, we're going to be doing some upskilling discussions, professional development, and we're happy that we have organizations like Africa ELTA and CAMELTA that can help us to shape our professional development so that we can be more effective teachers, because we're shaping the minds and thoughts of the future leaders of this world. I want to once again thank all of you for jumping on. I want to give you a minute if anyone has any last and final comments that they'd like to make. I'm going to wrap this up. It's a little bit over the time that I usually tell you. I try to keep everything within an hour, so a little bit over an hour and 14 minutes. So I thank you for the extra time to be able to get through this. And if there's anyone that has any final thoughts or words before we conclude and I wrap it up, I'll give you an opportunity to do that.
Yes, Karen?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Am I being heard? Okay, fine. I just want to say thank you very much. And thank you for the wonderful opportunity to give this visibility to CAMELTA. Stronger the partnership should be. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. it is my pleasure to do that as one of the things that I have in the role as a fellow. I took on this challenge. I have planned events in the past. I've never planned a conference before, and definitely not a conference in a completely different country. So this has helped me to grow in my profession, in my personal development, because I reached outside of where I believed I was going to be able to do this. So I once again want to thank you all for jumping on board and making this happen. I also want to encourage each of you all to step outside of your comfort zones as well, to do big things in this organization as teachers, but in your own personal development. To the way that we grow is to move outside of our comfort zone. So putting this conference together, where we're coming together physically after spending 2 years in more or less remote learning, not being in contact with each other, this opportunity to do this is greatly appreciated, and I'd like us to capitalize on that. So yes, we're going to learn together, but I'd like us to build relationships. I'd like us to grow together. I'd like to see this organization solidify itself to connect here in Cameroon, in Africa, and throughout the world as we connect with other teachers. Thank you for the opportunity for me to serve. Does anyone else have any final words? And if not, I will go ahead and shut this down. Yes, no, maybe so. Okay. All right. Well, I think the next, oh, I do see your hand. All right, Eric, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Karen. I just want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to revamp CAMELTA. We've been dormant for 2 years. You know, the post-COVID is a welcome glory to us. And even before the COVID, we are had to grapple with the crisis in the Northwest and Southwest. And I wish to say the conference is timely, because if we look at the theme of the Bilingualism Day, you have culture and technology in teacher development. So it's really timely, and I'm so happy to be part of the conference. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you. Looking forward to meeting you all. You have enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for allotting this time to be with us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all next week.